I've just logged into the server to see this. Oh my goodness, look at this. This guy's just... He's got his green belt that he's wearing on his face. And obviously because I'm just a pathetic purple belt, I'm now being blasted. I think Doc is also chilling over by the button. He's trying his best to get an awesome belt. I think he's actually been waiting here for ages. And then Iskall came along and just hit the button while Doc was waiting, which I don't think he was particularly happy about. These are some tweets that I saw this morning. All in all, it seems like the button is doing exactly what I expected it to do, which is... cause issues between hermits. This is hilarious. I am so tempted right now, though, to hit the button. I mean, Doc is camping out the button, but there's nothing stopping me just pressing it and getting a blue belt. I could upgrade. I don't know. I mean, do I want to do that? I think it could potentially ruin his day, though. And I do quite like Doc. I don't think I'm going to ruin his day. Grian did it! Grian just did it! He just came by and hit the button when it went green. Who did that? Did he press it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I was literally just about to leave and go to the shopping district, and I turned around as I was going through the portal and I saw it resetting. I thought Doc had pressed it, but it looks like Green's the one that's pressed it. So now Green is a green rank, and Doc still doesn't have a rank. He's been here for hours. Oh dear me, I'm going to leave before things heat up, because I feel like fights could break out. Anyway, the reason that I'm going to the shopping district is I need a bunch of stuff, because we're about to go end busting. I'm going to be doing a live stream with Iskall, which should be pretty interesting. Obviously, it would have happened in the past for you. I have no clue how it went. Maybe it was terrible. Right now, I'm absolutely terrified, because the last live stream was a lot bigger than I expected it to be, so I kind of want to be prepared before I go live. It is actually hilarious walking past Doc just sat in his chair staring at this thing. It's so funny. I've just walked over to the Enderman farm and, well, I walked near this and my whole inventory is full of ender pearls. I only need a couple stacks, but it almost feels bad leaving all of these just lying there. I am as prepped as one can be. Look at me. Totem of Undying. Boom. Firework rockets, full stack, golden carrots, golden apples. I've got ender pearls. I've also got a full shulker box of firework rockets. I've got a full shulker box of ender pearls. I've got all my handy stuff just ready to go in my ender chest. I also have 5 empty shulker boxes for all the things that I'm going to pick up in the end, because I plan on getting a lot of gear today. I mean, I am rocking and rolling. My purple belt is pathetic. Let's meet up with Iskall and do the live stream. We did, and it was massively successful. I mean, check out all of this gear that I managed to get. Look at that. Look at all the elytras that I've got. Pickaxes, swords. Look at the number of shulker shells. I mean, that is actually pretty bonkers, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think Grian might have let me win just a tiny bit on this one. Maybe a little bit. So I might send him a diamond in the minecart as well. This place is gradually becoming unbearable. Off it goes. Appreciate you, buddy. Anyway, to start things off today, I want to do a tiny bit of work on the base area. A little bit more experimentation, just seeing how certain things look. So I had this idea earlier on about how I could potentially do the outer octagon, because obviously, you know, I don't just want to leave it as like a single stone brick line. So we need to do something a tiny bit more substantial. And this seemed interesting. This definitely seemed interesting. So let's see how it actually looks from above. Now that I've got all of the blocks in place. That actually looks alright, doesn't it? That actually looks okay. That looks wild. Oh, that looks space age again. That looks super futuristic. That looks better than I was expecting, to be quite frankly honest. I am incredibly lucky that I didn't just fall out of the sky there. That was close. Thank goodness I have about 17 replacements. You know what? I am so glad that they decided to add in these gravel mountains, because, I mean, they're horrendously ugly. Don't get me wrong. I would never build anything here. I would never build anything within like a 300 block radius of one of these biomes. But they're incredibly useful. It's so much better than going down to the bottom of the ocean. And actually, in a similar vein, I'm so glad that I've got one of these too. I mean, this makes life so much easier. It also deafens me. It's definitely loud, but it makes life easier. So with that tiny resource gathering mission, I now should have enough cyan concrete to make my way all the way around this entire structure. We are around about halfway done. Progress is coming along quite nicely. This area is a bit of a pain in the backside because obviously I'm having to make my way through cliffs and things like that, but we are getting there. And I must admit, I cannot wait to actually terraform this thing. I think that might be the next major project that we work on with this base because obviously, you know, some of these things are actually floating in the air. And some of these things are slightly buried inside hillsides, so we need to smooth these out. We need to build up dirt on the outside and basically turn this into a big landscape structure, which, in case you weren't aware, is another absolutely mega project. That's huge. These are the final few blocks going in place now, and there it is. I've got 5 firework rockets left, so let's make this count. I'm going to fly as high as I possibly can, and then I'm just going to look straight down. That's kind of my goal here. Ready? Nice! That looks seriously cool. That looks seriously cool. I can't go back up again, but I'm a fan. So I think with that addition, it's time to actually remove the accent from this single one here. This was the one that we kind of tested it out on, and at the time I did quite like it, but now that all of them are constructed, I personally think it looks better without there being any form of accent. Lovely stuff. Really lovely stuff. Okay, I've been thinking a lot about the tower that's going in the central section here. I've been really trying to rack my brain on it and take inspiration from this guy. You know, I'm formulating some plans right now, and hopefully we should be starting that soon-ish. Can you tell from the tone of my voice that I don't really know when soon-ish actually is? You know what? Doing that work on the base has actually got me really in the mood for working on my base. So I think I'm going to do a few hours of terraforming. I think I'm going to do a lot of clearing. Hopefully we should be able to get these 2 hills out the way in that stretch of time. And then maybe start work on some constructing, but that could be bold. Terraforming takes forever, especially for someone like me. Yes, definitely bold. Definitely bold. But I have during this time lapse taken out all of the areas surrounding my base, and it's left a completely empty octagon. And that's brought up a whole bunch of questions that I've been asking in recent episodes, but now I'm having to think about a lot more. You see, when I was asking them in recent episodes, it kind of seemed like a distant thing. You know, it's way off in the future. I'll think about that when it comes to it. Now we've actually finished up the towers. This is kind of the next stage. So obviously I do like the idea of creating like an infinity void, making use of layers of glass, but that would be a lot of glass. I don't know, I mean, that would be a lot of glass. The other alternative is that we create a giant hole going right the way down to bedrock. That would be a lot of mining, but it could look pretty impressive. But, I mean, there's got to be others. There's got to be other things. So I think what I'll do is I'll ask you, is there anything else that you think I could fill in this space surrounding my base? I mean, if we just hop out and quickly take a look at it, now that it's all fully cleared, I think all of those options could actually result in something really cool. I mean, to be honest, even just filling it in with, like, dark concrete, something like dark grey, would look cool. I don't think it's quite as dramatic as what I really want from this, but what I'm saying is that this build is cool enough that even something simple could actually end up with an interesting result. Nice. Now, I'll be totally honest, I didn't actually plan to do any work on my base today. I just started doing the outline, and then I've become obsessed. Now I feel like I kind of have to do this inside octagon as well, in a similar style to the way that I did the outside one, just to see how it looks. I'm kind of curious. I also wasn't entirely sure where I was going to place it, so I think I'm going to experiment with placing it here, which is a little bit different to actually where I placed this one, and we'll see how it kind of runs. After spending all that time terraforming, I'm now having to do more terraforming and cutting into landscapes to actually make way for this thicker area here. I kind of didn't think that through. When they changed the way that TNT worked in Minecraft, allowing us to make explosion-based farms really easily, that was a good update. That was a seriously good update. Building these things takes a deceptively long time. However, these should be the final blocks. So, you know what I'm going to do, right? You know that I'm just going to fly off, and I'm going to take a look at this thing from above. That's predictable. Let's see how it is looking. That has made a big old difference, isn't it? That has made a big difference. My base looks a little bit more official now. It looks a little bit less haphazard. And a tiny bit like there's actually things happening. That's a big deal. I'm chuffed to bits with that. I really am. I'm super chuffed to bits. It feels like pieces are coming together. This guy right here sent me a message this morning saying that the button was dead, okay? And obviously this had me freaked out. I couldn't understand it because, you know, everyone's been playing the button. There's been people camping the button. I couldn't understand how this thing would have died. It just didn't seem possible. And I log in, all of the redstone lamps are on, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well that's strange. I mean, it seems perfectly fine. Exuma thought that the redstone lamps gradually switched on instead of switched off. So he walked past the button and saw all of the redstone lamps switched on, and he thought that meant that his health bar was empty. When in reality it was at full health. So he sends me a message saying that it's dead and the game is over. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, I can't believe this is flopped within 3 days of me building it. It's fine. It had been freshly pressed. It was as alive as it possibly can be. Oh, that has made my morning. That has absolutely made my morning. Except what's totally ruined my morning is I've just realised Exuma has a green belt. I still have a purple belt. He has a green belt and he does not even understand how the game works. We'll have to work on getting ourselves a fresh belt at some point soon. I'm going to try my best to camp the button in some way and make it so that I'm less of an embarrassment to the server. Why does this feel strange? I haven't been to this little base in a while, but I know me, and I know that I wouldn't use regular wood with jungle wood. And I feel like I definitely wouldn't have put these trapdoors next to regular wood. Am I going crazy or has someone changed up my base? That would be an effort. And I don't understand why they would do that. Other than to make me feel like I'm going crazy. And now I definitely do feel like I'm going crazy. Yeah, the fact that there's still some jungle wood present, I think there's some weirdness afoot. I'm actually going to go back and look at my video. Yes! What? Who? Why? What's happened? Seriously. Has someone done like a hermit challenges behind my back or something like that? This is the most surreal thing that's ever happened to me on the Hermitcraft server. I don't know what to say. After doing a little bit more research, I've discovered it's Iskall. Iskall was the one that swapped out all my blocks. So to get him back, I'm going to swap out all of his oak logs for spruce logs. I'm gonna swap out all the blocks. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go back to my base. I mean, I'm sure I can just get used to the new oak logs. They actually look quite nice. Coming back over to my ender chest, I accidentally opened up my blue shulker box and I noticed that we are not doing well on the diamond front in the slightest. And the only shop that I currently have on the Hermitcraft server is a shop that literally doesn't make any diamonds. That is the point of it. The point of it is that it doesn't make any diamonds, which I'm just realised is a really stupid idea for us. Why did I think that was a good idea? And what makes it even worse is that I don't even have anything to sell. I mean, I've really got nothing to sell. This is an issue. However, if I get creative, maybe I might be able to do something. Firstly, I think it's time for this shop to go. I did say in the episode that I built it that it was an experiment and it was kind of a pop-up shop that I wasn't sure was going to be sticking around on the server. Now the experiment has finished and it's time for it to be removed. I also literally can't afford another plot, so it has to go. Be honest with me, alright? How irresponsible would it be to spend a diamond block over at Iskall's place? He's just restocked all of the shulker boxes. I mean, I've only got 2 left, but they're so brightly coloured. The Pass It On store, how did I miss those blocks? How could I have missed those? That's like half the roof. Okay, I'll be the first to admit that that was a slight exaggeration, but still, how could I miss that? Even the bat can see it, and bats are basically blind, aren't they? Honestly, as I started that sentence, I realised I really don't know much about bats. My bat knowledge ended when I was around about 8 years old. That's when, I think that's the last time I received a bat-related fact. That was a really roundabout way of saying, my store's now gone. Okay, everything is gone. Now it is time to start work on the new store, which I think should generate some diamonds. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure. This is the first store of its type, and I don't know if morally it's right, or if, I mean, you'll just have to wait and see. I mean, put it this way, okay? I think there's a slight chance of embarrassment on my part here, a fairly high chance of embarrassment, and that's fine. You know, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy to be embarrassed as long as it makes me some diamonds. If it doesn't make me any diamonds, then I'm going to be very upset. Part 1 has been constructed, so we have now got a fully grass platform right here. I think I'm going, I might take a little bit of inspiration as to what is going on over there, because that is actually pretty gorgeous. Inspiration has been taken, and I'm enjoying the process. So things are coming together quite nicely. I would say maybe another small rock here, and then a little bit more bone meal, and that should do the trick. I also really appreciate that in Mushroom Islands, you don't get any flowers when you bone meal stuff, you only get grass, and that looks so much cooler. This looks really nice. I've also built up a little camping ground. I mean, I'm liking the way that this is working, but here is where the actual shop is going to be going. And because, as previously mentioned, we are running low on diamonds, it's gonna be a dirt hut. I'm going to be building a dirt hut. But just because it's a dirt hut doesn't mean it has to be some ugly, horrible dirt hut. I happen to think that this one looks rather pretty. Oh, look at that little plot. That's actually ended up being really nice and actually quite adorable. I'm a fan of this place, especially now that all of the signs are in place. So, let me explain. I have completely run out of diamonds, and desperate times lead to desperate measures, so I have built this store. Buy Mumbo's Bits. Now, currently it's empty. I'm going to fill it in with bits. What on earth do I mean by bits? Well, say for example, a hermit really, really likes my mustache, okay? They can buy it. They can take the mustache off of me. If you take a look in here, it has the instructions, obviously, because I don't have very many resources in the slightest. Well, I've had to put the instructions on grass blocks, but you get the picture. Buy my mustache and wear it on your skin. I will then be stashless. So I will not have a mustache. The player who bought my mustache will then be wearing my mustache, and they can wear it wherever they want to wear it. It doesn't necessarily have to be where mustaches normally go. However, I would probably recommend that. Now, they can leave me stashless, or they can make me a new mustache that replaces my missing stash. So if they think that I should have a totally new style, then they can. And of course, there is one of those available. Same thing goes for my suit. My suit is up for sale, as you can see. Buy my suit and wear it on your skin, then I will be suitless. Or you can make me a new suit that replaces my missing suit. And then over here, you can see we have got the same for my hair as well. So everything is up for grabs. And actually, as you may be able to notice, my suit is already in the item frame. I mean, I've kind of taken my suit off already, which means that this is what I currently look like. And I must admit that the belt system is not doing me any favours whatsoever. This is not a good look for me. This is not a good look for me, and something tells me that it can only get worse from here. I mean, what if I lose my moustache and someone gives me a ridiculous moustache or gives me a ridiculous haircut? I mean, these are all possibilities with this new store that I've created, but I have to do it because I need diamonds. I don't have any diamonds. I've got next to none. Well, that's not strictly true, of course. I mean, I do have 2 diamond blocks, but I can't help myself. I've been looking at this place from over there this entire time. I need to do it, okay? I have a good feeling about this one, and I have a good feeling about this one. These are going to be my 2, and I'm going to open them both at the same time. Boom. Gravel. Fantastic. And cobblestone. Not exactly what I was hoping for 18 diamonds. Someone could have bought my suit for that. Someone... Well... Bye. That was an eventful episode, wasn't it? I mean, a lot of that stuff kind of came out of nowhere and was slightly unplanned, but I like these ideas. I think I mean, I'm liking where everything is going. I mean, I might have a ridiculous haircut this time next week, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's all up to the hermits. Maybe they'll be nice to me. Maybe they'll give me a wicked do.